you, for those of you that don't know, and we really would like to wish peace upon you. The title of this event is called Muslim Voices Against Extremism, and we would like to raise our voices high and prominently against extremism. And so I am Professor Sophia Pandya from Cal State Long Beach in the Religious Studies Department, and we have a lovely panel of speakers tonight, and I'll introduce them. First, allow me to thank the Pacifica Institute, and in particular Mr. Ilker Yildiz, Mr. Attila Kahveci, and I'd also like to thank the audience and all of you for showing up. So thank you so much for coming. This event is held in collaboration with the Office of Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez and also with Bayan Claremont University. Now we will turn to watch a short video in which the Pacifica Institute will be introduced.
In our increasingly globalized world, the importance of recognizing our common humanity and respecting each other with our differences has taken on a new significance. Our vision is to develop social capital, the creation and extension of positive connections within and between disparate social networks to achieve mutual understanding and common commitments to enriching the social good. Pacifica Institute has become an integral part of the West Coast community. The Institute seeks to accomplish its vision by engaging in a variety of civic activities and inviting others to generate and share insights, thereby removing barriers to confidence building and trust. Pacifica events for sharing insights and promoting understanding include luncheon forums, interfaith conversations, and lecture series. Over the years, the Pacifica Institute has addressed many various themes, including U.S. healthcare reform and financial regulatory reform, economy, an update on the California budget and recent legislation, diversity in education, challenges of law enforcement post 9/11, investigative journalism at the LA Times, and varieties of Judaism today. The Pacifica Institute has organized conferences and panels such as East and West Encounters, the Hizmet Movement, a conference on the general theme of encounters between East and West in the Hizmet movement, as well as the movement's contributions to education, interfaith and intercultural dialogue, tolerance, and world peace. Family and Transition, a conference, and 10th year of the September 11th attacks, Reflections on 9/11 After a Decade, were both conferences to help us heal, overcome polarization, and look towards the future in the post-9/11 world. Since 2004, annual dialogue and friendship dinners have been held to contribute to the progress of intercultural and interfaith dialogue and peace. With the participation of esteemed guests and people from different faiths, cultures, ethnicities, and political affiliations, these gatherings have come to symbolize the Institute's desire to achieve genuine societal cohesion, understanding, and cooperation. In addition, the Pacifica Institute organizes intercultural dialogue trips to Turkey. These trips enable understanding through social and cultural interactions, and give the participants an opportunity to make new friends and invaluable connections. The Institute also organizes and participates in social responsibility projects and has raised funds for the victims of the earthquakes in Haiti, Japan, and eastern Turkey, the floods in Pakistan, and for victims of the Southern California wildfires. To capture the spirit of Ramadan by sharing blessed moments with various interfaith communities, the Institute has hosted fast-breaking dinners with representatives of churches, synagogues, and many other faith communities across the West Coast area. The idea has been to emphasize and remember the common grounds we share as humans, regardless of the faith differences. The Pacifica Institute also organizes and hosts festivals. The annual Children's Festival in the Bay Area attempts to give children a stage to perform and to highlight and display their talents. With the Anatolian Cultures and Food Festival, the Institute aims to highlight the many cultures and civilizations that have flourished in the Anatolian region, from the Greeks and the Hittites to the Urartu and Armenians, together with the Ottomans to produce a modern-day Turkey. The festival brings to the forefront the rich cuisines and cultures from these civilizations and aims to focus on the lessons their rich and vibrant histories have taught us.
Okay, what a wonderful video. I would now like to introduce to you Mrs. Raida Hamida. Please come up. She's a community liaison from the Office of Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, and together with the Pacifica Institute, Bayan Claremont, and the Office the Office of Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, they have partnered together to put on this event. And so Ms. Raida Hamida will present a statement to Mr. Attila Kahfici and also make a statement. Go ahead.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. I am very honored and privileged to be among such distinguished guests, many of which I had the privilege to grow up with. Dr. Muzamil Siddiqui was the director when I was 12 years old at his Islamic Center of Garden Grove, and I could tell you I was the first Muslim student president, and he used to run around and say, Raida, behave. Yeah. So I just want you to know I did, and I'm here because of you. Unfortunately, Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez could not be here today, so I hope that I look like her and that I can actually fill such big shoes. I do have a statement that she'd like me to deliver on her behalf. I stand in solidarity with our dear friends in the Muslim community in denouncing extremism and using the banner of Islam to carry out these unspeakable acts. I join with Congress and the people of the 46th District in congratulating Pacifica Institute on a wonderful collaborative with Bayan College, allowing the voices of peace and light from the Muslim world to be heard by all of us. And I'd also like to present a certificate of congressional recognition to Pacifica Institute. Thank you.
Oh, I think she has one of my papers. I'll be lost without these little papers here. Okay, you know, it might be a good idea to make sure cell phones are off, by the way, okay? Because we do have such a wonderful panel. We had a woman panelist who was going to speak, and her name is Professor Nayare Tohidi. I know her fairly well. She's up at Cal State Northridge, and unfortunately she became really ill right before she was going to travel down here and couldn't make it, but she really would have liked to come. She expressed her deep regret that she couldn't make it. So now we turn to our four panelists. They each get 10 minutes. Let me tell you something about each each one of them, and then we'll hear from them individually. Okay? So let me do it in the order in which they'll speak. First, we will hear from Dr. Muzammil H. Siddiqui, who is also an imam. And Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui is the chairman of the Fiqh Council of North America and of the Shura Council of Southern California. He's also the director of the Islamic Society of Orange County. Born in India in 1943, he received his Islamic education at Darul Uloom Nadwatul Uluma, Lucknow, India. Graduated from the Islamic University of Medina in Saudi Arabia in 1965 with a higher degree in Arabic and Islamic studies. He received an MA in theology from Birmingham University in England and a PhD in comparative religion from Harvard University in the USA. Dr. Muzammil Siddiqui is the chairman Fiqh Council of North America, Chairman Shura Council of Southern California, and the director of the Islamic Society of Orange County. Let's welcome Dr. Siddiqui. Next in order would be Dr. Ozgur Koja, and he's an assistant professor of Muslim studies at Bayan Claremont Islamic Graduate School. Ozgur Koja has spent 10 years of his life teaching physics, mathematics, and astronomy in different countries. It's been quite a journey for you, right? Yeah. After years of quantitative research, he decided to journey to new perspectives in the fields of philosophy and religion. His studies in these diverse fields allow him to draw on the resources of science, philosophy, and theology to develop a constructive Islamic theology that can address the burning ethical, spiritual, political, and religious issues Muslim societies face today. His studies focus on Islamic philosophy, theology, spirituality, science and religion, environmental ethics, interreligious discourse, and contemporary Islamic movements and ideology. Let's welcome Dr. Ozgur Koja. Next, the third speaker will be another imam. We have two imams tonight, and this will be Imam Sayyid Mustafa Al-Qazwaini. And Dr. Al-Qazwaini is the president of the Shia Muslim Council of Southern California. And he was born in Karbala, Iraq, to an intellectual and scholarly family who traces their lineage back to the Holy Prophet Muhammad. He initiated his higher theological studies in Islam at the seminary in Qom, Iran, where he was awarded with a BA and an MA in Islamic studies. In 1994, Imam Al-Qazwaini immigrated to the US and established the Islamic Cultural Center of San Diego, California. Then in 1996, he established the Islamic Educational Center of Orange County, California. Currently, Imam Al-Qazwaini is a PhD candidate in Islamic Sharia studies. Let's welcome Dr. to be Imam Al-Qazwaini. And fourth on our panel will be Dr. Jihad Turk. And Dr. Jihad Turk is from Bayan Claremont Islamic Graduate School. He's the president. And he's also an adjunct professor of Muslim studies. He's been instrumental in the establishment of Bayan Claremont, which is a graduate school designed to train Muslim scholars and religious leaders. He previously served as the Director of Religious Affairs at the Islamic Center of Southern California, the oldest and largest mosque in the Los Angeles area. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Turk. Like this. They each get 10 short minutes, okay? And I have to stop them if they get long-winded. And after that, we'll have Q&A. So try to remember who's who so that you can, direct your questions. When the questions come, you can ask anything. Free speech is allowed. You may ask anything at all, but try to make it a question and not a long-winded comment, okay? A question. All right, so now let's turn to Dr. Siddiqui. And let me give you a microphone. Would you like to take the podium, or would you like to remain seated and take the microphone, as you like? This one? Okay. you can go up there. I can share.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be to all of you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the most merciful, the compassionate. I want to thank Dr. Sophia Pandey and also Pacifica Institute for inviting. And Pacifica Institute is a wonderful institute. I was their guest last June and traveled throughout Turkey. They are great hosts, and they took us around and saw the people of Turkey and many beautiful places and very nice food. So I would encourage you to go and visit Turkey. There are more than 1.5 billion Muslims in the world. Many of them live in the Middle East, but most of them live outside the Middle East. Islam is the name of the religion. Muslim are the people. Islam is what Muslims are supposed to do. Islam is not whatever Muslims do. I'm sure you can say the same thing about Christianity. Christianity is not whatever Christians do. And Judaism is not whatever Jewish people do. So Islam is a faith that emphasizes, it comes from the very word salam, peace. The greeting of Muslims is Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. We pray every day, 5 times a day at least. And we pray for peace. And we end our prayer with Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. Our Prophet is called Rahmatul lil Alameen, the mercy for the worlds. Our Prophet said, Muslim is the person from whose hand, from whose tongue others are safe. Our Prophet said, believers are those from whom people feel safe with their money, with their life. Our Prophet emphasized good neighborliness. And he said, he is not a believer, he is not a believer, he is not a believer. And they asked him, who is that messenger of God from whose troubles his neighbors are not safe? Islam emphasizes living together, respecting life of all people, Muslims as well as people of other faiths and people of no faith, all human beings. God has honored the human beings, that the Quran says. These are the basic principles of Islam. And most Muslims follow that. But there is a group of people, they have been throughout history, and recently some more people have come up and they have become now notorious. They are using religion for their grievances. They have political grievances, they have social grievances, they have economic grievances. Some grievances are real and some of them are perceived. But they are using these grievances to terrorize people, to do things which are not proper, do things that we Muslims in general, Muslims all over the world have condemned. And they have been attacking Muslims themselves. So in the Muslim countries, there are many people who have suffered because of that. And they have done trouble for other people. 9/11 that happened here in our country. I was there when this happened in Washington, and a few days later, President Bush invited for people to lead the prayer at the National Cathedral, and I spoke there with other voices of people of faith, condemning this kind of violence and emphasizing peace for the people.